I hope you are having a wonderful day. It is Tuesday, however, it is not sunny and it is not San Diego. I am in Cheltenham, which is in the Cotswolds in a lovely part of England, and it is 7 o'clock in the evening, hence the shadows, kind of spooky. Okay, but the message should hopefully still be coming over to you loud and clear. If it isn't, because it did look a little hiccupy, we'll do this one again sometime. I'm Andrea Koochin. Welcome to my Home Biz Tips. I've got some great stuff for you today. A few weeks ago, I started talking about value because I'd been to an event where somebody had been talking about value, and we uncovered some really interesting things about value. While I was talking, it kind of led into the value of time, because time is a commodity that is incredibly easily wasted because we kind of think of it as something that's unlimited, and boy, is it not. So I had lots of tips and ideas for how to handle time. Then that kind of segued into, while I was talking about time, I realized that there's also something about the value of money that some people aren't quite aware of, and that maybe we could have some tips about handling and managing money and understanding the value of money. And while we were talking about that, numbers came up, and here we are today talking about the value of numbers. Now, measuring value is usually numerical, although bad and good works too, or less or more, that works too. But, you know, people still tend to think of gradient scale of 0 to 10 or something like that. Obviously, time is all about numbers because that's how we count it. Then there's money, which we also count with numbers. So I can imagine that you might be thinking, we've done the numbers. What else is left to do with numbers? Well, hold on to your bonnets, ladies and gents. This might hurt some of you, and I really apologize, but bear with me, because once we get to the end of it, it'll make complete sense. The other numbers are statistics. Yikes. Yes, I know. It's horrible. Think of it in terms of tracking or analytics, though, instead of statistics. Does that feel better? Okay, good. Right. So what does that even mean? Because if you're just a little person working on your own in your little business, in your little home, then why would you be doing statistics? Well, the question is, why would you not be doing statistics? Because statistics, analytics, figuring out the effect of what you're doing, how well it's working, and whether that's going to get you to your goal is way more essential in some ways than even managing your time or your money. Or actually, this should come first. And if you were doing this, then maybe the time and the money would kind of fall into place. So let me explain. Imagine, and some of you may have heard this before, in which case, feel free to join in. So imagine that you had a book that you had to read. Say you're a student and you're studying literature, and somebody's given you a book to read, and you've got a month to read it. In other words, 4 weeks. And it has 1,000 pages, right? So you would say to yourself, okay, if I have to read 1,000 pages over a 4-week period, and I don't want to work weekends, that means I've got to read 1,000 pages in 20 days, right? That splits up beautifully. That's why I always use nice, easy, round numbers, because I'm not a mathematical genius. Unlike my daughter, who is, I don't know where that came from, my mother, I think. Anyway, I digress. So we've got these 1,000 pages, and we're going to divide them into 4 weeks, and that's 250 pages a week, right? And we're only going to work Monday to Friday. That's 5 days. So our 250 pages divide really nicely and neatly into 5 days at 50 pages a day, right? Correct? Good. Now what happens? So we plan out our strategy, and our strategy is I will read 50 pages every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then by the end of the month, I will have read the entire book. And yes, you can do the same thing if you're writing a book or doing anything else. or traveling a distance in the car. So you're traveling a distance in the car, you're baking a cake, you're organizing a kids' party, you're writing a report for somebody. It's all based on the same principles, right? It is based on dividing what you have to do into the time in which you have to do it, right? I need to lose so many pounds in 6 months. You then figure out how many pounds you need to lose per month and then per week in order to hit your target. So let's go back to our numbers. If I read 50 pages every day for the first week, I'm bang on target, right? I can see by the fact that I'm where I should be that I'm going to hit my target. I'm going to hit my projected target within the time. What happens if I read 100 pages a day? I'm just going to get to my target faster. And it might allow me to have some days off in the future or something else, go away, something like that. But I'm keeping track every day. I'm doing my analytics. I'm keeping my statistics. I did this many, that many, and that many. What happens if the following week we start out bright and enthusiastic on Monday and we get 30? We're missing 20, right? Now, what options do we have? We do an extra 20 tomorrow. We do an extra 10 tomorrow and an extra 10 the day after, or we do an extra 5 for the remaining 4 days, or we leave the 20 and stick them on Saturday and do them on Saturday. Now, this is a really simple example to look at, right? Because it's logical and obvious and easy. We need to translate this way of thinking into what we're doing in our business to hit our business goals, assuming we're clear on what they are, right? And they can be numerical. In other words, how much money do we want to earn by a certain period? Or it can be something like how many clients do we want to acquire in a certain period of different types. You know, maybe there'll be VIP coaching clients, or there'll be software monthly subscription clients, or whatever it is that you're dealing with, how many of those you need to get to your target, how many hours you want to work. Maybe you want to reduce the numbers of hours you're working, but not reduce the output of your business. So your target can be to get bigger, but your target could also be to get smaller. It doesn't matter. The point is, you have to map it out literally the way that you would map out a journey that you're going on. Okay. Now you have 2 different types of statistics, and the statisticians call them lead statistics and lag statistics. Now, what does that mean? That means that you have figured out 50 pages a day will get you to your total, right? So each day, as you do your 50, you know that your lead statistics are up to date and on target. And if your lead statistics, in other words, the little things you're doing on a daily basis that take you to your goal, are up to date, your lag statistic, which is the one that comes at the end of the month that says, yes, that was achieved, will be on target. Try to avoid measuring only lag statistics because they're the past. Once you get to measuring your lag statistic, that's what you did in the past. You can't change it. You can't make it better. Your lead statistics, the things that you're doing every day, you can adjust, right? If you only did 30, you can adjust and still hit your target. I look at lead and lag statistics like cause and effect, right? So your lead statistics are the cause and your lag statistic is the effect. In other words, if you cause yourself to read 50 pages a day for 20 days, the effect will be that you finish the book or whatever it is. So go back to your aim. For example, 10 grand a month, extra pocket money. extra business money coming in. What does that mean? That means 5 new clients, which means that for the next month, you have to close 1 new client a week, right? Now, how many people do you need to have a conversation with in order to close them? Maybe your ratio is 2 to 1 or 2 to 3, or sorry, 1 out of 2, or it might be 1 out of 3, or it might be 1 out of 4, or you might not know. In which case, find out. Yes, you find out what your statistics are. Find out what you need to do to get to your goal. And then when you know, you can check it. Right, so say it's out of 5, and that would mean that you'd have to have a conversation once a day for a week, right? So again, if you're having those conversations, you know that at some point during that week, you will close somebody. And if you repeat that for the other 3 weeks of the month, you know you've hit your target. Now, if you do not measure, you do not know where you are. In other words, if you're driving your car and your navigation says, at some point further up, you need to turn left, how do you know where it is? How do you know to prepare to turn left if you're in a double lane and you might be on the right-hand side? How do you know? You only know when you know the individual steps. So you need to be able to map out the steps. Then when you map out the steps and you track the steps as you're going along, the result is a foregone conclusion. And what happens when you know that you're on target and your success is a foregone conclusion? The big thing is you relax, right? And when you relax, things kind of work out, don't they? Have you had that experience too? That when you're all stressed out and tense about things and you don't know if it's going to work, you're like, ah! And then what normally happens, at least to me, is that at some point there's a mighty crash and something goes wrong, right? Now, if you're tracking everything, you know you're on target. That gives you confidence. The confidence that you are on target means that you can relax. So if you have a bad day, your internet goes down, the page, you find a missing page in your book and you've got to go to the library to get another one, but the library's closed today. Something unforeseen happens, it's okay, because you know that you can manage that pace. You can step it up a little bit to catch up with yourself. You might even already be ahead of the game. You still know you'll hit your target. So what's the takeaway from today? The value of numbers. Without numbers, without tracking your statistics, your habits in your business, your analytics, whatever you want to call it, without doing that, you have no idea where you are. You have no idea what is possible to achieve. You can't correct yourself when you're off course because you don't know where the course is. You would never set out on a journey like that. Don't set out in your business like that. And if you have, it's okay. That's the past. Don't worry about the past. Look at the future. Get a goal. Doesn't matter what it is, something random. Just have a goal. Then break it down into step-by-step pieces. Take those pieces step by step. Then you'll know whether you're on track or not. And if you're not, if you fall off the track somehow, you can correct. There's no way you can do that if you don't know where you are and you're not tracking where you are. This is the value of numbers. Without these numbers, you could well get to your target. But when? How? And how much is it going to hurt? If you're on track and you're measuring everything, you know you're there. It will not hurt. It'll even give you loafing time, play time. It's all about being in control or being at cause of your business and your environment, being responsible for what's happening, having good leadership, right? Well, all these expressions kind of mean the same sort of thing, and you'll hear different people using different expressions, but that's my interpretation of what it means. It means that you're the boss. And isn't that what you want to be in your own business? The boss? All right. So going back, and I think I might turn this into a series, actually. Going back, we have what is value and how important is it? It's finding out what you can give that people can pay you for, and what it is that people want, so that you're providing what they want. What is the value of time? It is managing it in such a way that you're doing your most important tasks first, as early as possible, so that the other stuff can be done later. You're not going to be busy all day long and then suddenly realize at the end of the day you've got a sales call you should make. That happens as early as possible. That's the value of time. Then you have the value of money, which is, what do you do with it when it comes in, to make sure that you've got it to cover your expenses, pay the tax man? How much do you keep? How much do you allocate to this? How much do you allocate to that? Are you actually making per hour or per session or per day what it is you think you're making, or are you losing money along the way that you didn't realize you were losing? And then how do you keep everything in control? Well, that is the value of numbers. When you're recording your activities, and these are your most important activities at the beginning of the day, when you're tracking those and you know where you are, things will be relatively stress-free. You'll be managing your time. You'll be managing your money. It allows you to scale up. It allows you to expand. It also allows you to delegate things to people, knowing exactly how long they should take, so that you can't get ripped off. I mean, it really does put you in the driving seat of your business, therefore your life, your income. You really are creating your own economy when you work things this way. So, does anyone have any questions? Pop them in the chat box, or message me in Facebook, or you can email me. My email address is andrea@myhomebiz.tips. You can go to the website. You can fill in the form. There's a contact form on there, myhomebiz.tips. Do you know what TIPS stands for? It stands for tools and ideas that produce success. Isn't that lovely? Tools and ideas that produce success. Awesome. This tool really produces success. This idea of looking after your numbers, appreciating the value of numbers. So also, if you are an expert in some area, if you've had great success in some business endeavor that you'd like to share with us, go to the website, to the trainings page, and fill out our application to be a guest. It's at the bottom of that page. You can see the other guests that we've interviewed. There are links to the interviews that we've done with them on that go to our YouTube channel. And you can apply to be interviewed by me on this show. You won't be standing next to me here because I'm in England, but you'll be next to me on the screen, and we'll have a blast, and you'll make an impact on the audience that I couldn't have made, because your special way of looking at things is unique. That's why we all have to keep doing what we're doing. Never give up. Doesn't matter how difficult things seem, or how complicated they seem, or how much you miss. If you want to talk to me, reach out, talk to me. I'm really happy to spend some time with you brainstorming ideas, right? Just to make you feel good, because that's my purpose in life, making business owners who work from home feel better, inspiring them, empowering them, and supporting them. Even if we end up not working together, I still want to help you get on your feet, because I love to see strong and successful business owners all over the place at home, working and making the world a better place. All righty, that's about it for today. My jet lag is sort of beginning to catch up with me a little bit. And I'm only on day 3, full day 3 of my trip, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, the 3rd full day. They say it takes a day for each hour change to get over jet lag. So I've got a few more days left. But I will be here again next week on Tuesday, wherever you are, at a computer or a tablet or a phone near you. And I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for joining me today. Toodle pip, as they say.